Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Life is Poetic, hosted by yours truly poetically, Poeticlee. And come on, let's get the energy right. Let's get the energy right. Let's get the energy right. I, I woke up, washed the face, did a little, a little workout. Nothing crazy, but it had to get me like this. Let's go. Put that battery. Put that battery. Let's go, baby. This the energy we on. This the energy we on. I'm gonna get my mic right while we getting right. I'm charged up, yeah. I'm charged up, yeah. I'm charged up, yeah. Put that battery in my back. I'm charged up, yeah. I'm charged up, yeah. Yeah. I'm charged up. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. This the moment we live for. You give a little and they want more. Oh, there we go. That's how we get the energy right. Welcome back to Life is Poetic, hosted by yours truly poetically, Poeticlee, where you can follow me. And that's my music. That's me right there, charged up, baby. You gotta be charged up. Life is about, I talk about being electric beings and talk about being just beings that have a charge, the essence of a charge. When you feel something, you think about sports, and think about basketball. When you're taking that charge, you're taking that effort, you're taking that momentum, you're taking that momentum away from what doesn't, you're taking that momentum and switching it back to your side, hopefully, if you get that charge. But when you look at life, and when you look at coming into life, when you look at waking up to life, and when you look at moving through life, there is a charge of action. There's the activation. There's a momentum. There's a thrive. There's this. And that's what we're talking about, and that's what we're here for. So this feels good. This feels right. The last show I just did, somehow the microphone wasn't connected and working. So my apologies on the audio for that one, but you learn through things and you get through them. I think that's the thing about it. You get through them, and that's been, as we do these shows, and Life is Poetic is really going into the stanzas of life's existence, the stanzas of life's existence. That's a tongue twister, low key. The stanzas of life's existence. And really is being able to read through the lines, being able to understand what's being comprehended, being able to comprehend what's being delivered, right? The signs, the symbolism, the different awarenesses that kick up and make us have to look around like, okay, what's going on in this moment? What's happening in this moment? And that's why life is poetic, baby. That's why life is just this journey, this journal. Life is this journey and this journal. Look at that. Life is this journey and this journal, just waiting to be open. And as a journal, writing into it. I believe, as a writer, as a poet myself, I believe that all of us should be writing our narrative. All of us should be writing, as we are the narrators of our life existence. We are the ones that get to tell the story. We are the ones that get to be able to let our message be known and clarify what's happening in our life. That's even doing this podcast and being able to do this show allows me to kind of get these thoughts, get these things that I may write down and kind of keep to myself. But it's like, what is the grand use? Like, okay, perfect. I get to keep it for myself, and I get to read through, and I get to observe these disciplines and get to observe these responsibilities and get to observe these awakenings to life. Though, what better feeling and what greater feeling than being able to share it and being able to and allow others to tap into whatever. Sometimes we feel like it's just us. Sometimes we feel like it's just us thinking this thing, us being able to come to this realization, when it's a lot of people that may be able to come to this point, this perspective of the realization, It's like seeing, some would call it like seeing angel numbers. Like, you can see 333, though you may have a perspective of that 333. That may be a truth. This person may have a perspective of that 333. That's still a truth to their story, to their existence, or to whatever may be going on in the collective too. So, that's what we're hearing about. And, when I talked about kind of just going through different obstacles and going through different challenges, right? We talk about who we're becoming, right? And in talking about who we're becoming, if you tap into the episodes, because every episode we have a prompt. And through these prompts, they help us be able to understand more of our own recognition and our own cognitive thinking of these moments in life. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we're able to listen to, podcasts, whether you're gaining it for entertainment value, whether you're gaining educational purposes from the podcast. Though with this particular show, I want to be able to provide prompts and be able to provide just interaction, engagement through some of the things that I'm not only just thinking about for myself, but allow you to think about it as well. So we've talked about who are we becoming more of, right? And noticing that, not running away from it, not shying away from it, but leaning more into it, who we're becoming more of. Then it goes from a stance to, all right, now what are some of those challenges that we face and who we're becoming more of? And when I think about some of the challenges that I faced as an artist and as an entrepreneur and a business owner, it's definitely when we talk about health, and that is some of the biggest things. When you talk about mental health, spiritual health, those are some of the key things. But let's just talk about the real vessel, the real tangible thing, and that's your physical health, right? It's this morning, even me getting back into shape. It's a process. Like even you coming on here, I'm used to seeing my arms like a certain definition, a certain cutout. They're not that right now, right? Because I've been down, had a torn ACL, torn meniscus, and it's been a tough, challenging process. And it makes me really think. Hats off and salute to all the guys that are in the pros, any level of sports, and you go through an injury. It's that process is definitely a personal process for everyone, and it's a process that you have to get through, and it's a process that no one is going to know except you what that really entails, because man, your body has a different, it knows different things about you that you're still learning about you. It picks up different things about you that you're still, that that you can do, but then it's like, okay, we're going through this process of learning again, like with this torn ACL, torn meniscus. I think the process, one of the main challenges is probably just the patience of it all, right? The patience of it all, because you go through a process where you think you've gotten through one phase, then it's another phase that's still similar to the first phase, but not quite as intense as the first phase. Then you get through another phase that you like, okay, well, maybe this phase may be a little different, but it's still fragments of the second phase that's not quite as intense. You see, excuse the mic, but you kind of see what I'm saying here, and that's kind of what took place with my injury, and still going on from being injured at the end of August, going into September, and then having surgery, getting through the surgery, and being able to walk again, feeling that confidence of walking again, then feeling that confidence and knowing that I could do it, but then my body like, what can we really do? My mind sometimes it's a back and forth between my mind and my body about what I can actually do because of the injury. And for me, it's just been a process of patience and practice of spiritual health too. So when I get into that spiritual health, when we're talking about the health, the challenges when I talk about as an artist and an entrepreneur, obviously when it comes to running a business and being able to maintain your business, you are faced with a task, because it then becomes to what you get to be really shown what you've built, right? When you're down, you get to be shown what you've built. And what I mean by that is you get to be shown the system that can move with you and without you. So with that system moving without you, how does that look when people have to be communicating? Well, how does that communicate? What does that communication look like to your system, first off, right? So that communication to my system had to look like, being able to be as transparent as I could with clients, being able to be as transparent as I could with teammates, being able to be as transparent as I could with other partners. This is where I'm at right now. And I know that you want that, that LeBron James effort, that GOAT energy, that charged up energy, though my body has to get charged back. Like I'm in the process of charging my body. I'm in the process of bringing myself back. And when you're in that process of charging yourself up, when you're in that process of just bringing yourself back, you have to it's a lot of grace. It's a lot because it's going to be a lot of downtime. And just through that process, a lot of reflection, a lot of being able to go ahead and not have to think too much into the future, but think of the now. And what I mean, even by thinking of the now, it's like, okay, now I'm with myself. Now I am understanding more of my health. And these are some profound thoughts that, of course, you may not all have them all in the first moment, though. These are things that accumulate. These are things that build up. These are things that allow you to, as you have more patience with yourself, because there are going to be moments that you feel, you know, a little down. There are going to be moments that you feel depressed. You know, I'm not going to put that on everyone, right? But let's just face it. You're not yourself. You're not the person. You're not the vessel. You're not the, you are that person, because we've talked about in the past where that same person still exists, though the current you right now is the current you, and that's the current you that you have to swim through, right? And it's just like same thing being a surfer on the waves. You know, you are that surfer that can ride that 10-foot wave, right? But when that 20-foot wave comes, you know, it's a new phase, it's a new tide to learn through. And that's why life is poetic, baby, because there are going to always be these new tides. There are going to always be these new waves happening that we have to learn through. There's no answer that's going to be the life answer. The question is living as the answer. The question of life is living as the answer, living to learn who you are in every given situation, living to learn who you are in every given moment, in every given that's what it's about. The moments. What moment is happening for you to actually gain? What moment is happening for you to actually step through and let something divine happen through you on? You know, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And that's the biggest key. That's the biggest thing to really feel and feel grounded with. So when I really step back and I really think about, you know, going through this injury, and I think about being, you know, again, as I talk about being an entrepreneur and communicating through that my team, then it goes into my artistic expression, right? A lot during that time is being a producer. I'm producing. I'm cooking up beats. I'm going through my mind of like, all right, I gotta stay active. You know, you don't want to, especially for me in my case. You know, we had R&B and poetry going on. We had I had a virtual tour planned out. I had music videos that we were going to shoot. I had other business going on that I was really looking forward to, and then had to take a shift. And what did that shift define for me? That shift defined for me was a very divine shift. It was a very, you know, what do they say? I forgot what it's called. Which angel in disguise? Something, you know, moments that happen for you that are meant to happen for you, that you sometimes don't really see in the moment, but it's there for you. And that's what that's it, man. That's really it. It's like all these moments are meant for you, and all these moments are for your best benefit. It's just a process of really seeing it as that, like, okay, this is for me and this is my benefit. This is for us to go through. And when you're going through that, it's again, in the moment, sometimes you want to hear it, sometimes you don't want to hear it. Either way, it's being able to recognize at some point in the journey that, okay, this is for me to go through. You know, of course, everybody wants, you know, sometimes we want that toss. You know, sometimes we want that handoff. Right? But sometimes your quarterback may fumble it, right? And the quarterback is you. Sometimes you may fumble it to yourself. Then how do you pick it up, right, and run it back? Sometimes somebody else may fumble it to you. That's okay. It's meant for you to kind of like learn how to have grace with that person. And that's one of the biggest things I was going through in this process too. One of the challenges is being able to have patience from other people, right? Other people and what they expect from you. And here I am in January, right? We talk about September, October, November, December, and now here in January, we literally talk about 5 months, and I'm still in pain. You know, at different points, I'm still healing at different points, and getting back in shape. And what does that look like? Not really being able to have the resources to have the physical therapist and the trainer that I like right now, because, you know, we're in a time where you know, you're making everything work as you can make it work. You know, running a business, but then also having those funds of life, those funds of just everything else that you need. And then it goes to looking at, okay, there's this expense over here that can help my body, though it's also going to cost something else over here that you got to sacrifice. So it's those are the challenges too. Okay, what do I sacrifice over here to kind of like help this right here financially? What do I sacrifice, and can I sacrifice for this, or is this just become a discipline thing, like a thing that I can learn to do for myself? And that's sometimes, we get creative like that. We definitely look at things and say, okay, is this something I can do for myself in my own home? Is this something I can do for my own, in my own spare time? And that's what we look at when we're facing the challenges. When we face challenges, it's also being able to look at and see, is this a challenge, or is this more of a definition of who I am, right? And I think that's the more of that's the real thing that we've come to realize about, quote unquote, the challenge. Is it really a challenge, or just more of me defining more of who I am? And I think for me, that's how I look at it. I don't know if that's just being an Aries or just being, I feel like I, definitely know that I'm a spiritual warrior, and I believe that's how I love it. I love it like that. I love being able to define who I am and define more of myself, and be able to refine myself, and be able to sharpen up, and be able to trim away the fat, trim away the stuff that you don't need anymore. Remember, I was talking before about gaining more maturity, right? Because there's so many different facets of maturity, and there's so many different faces of how you show up for the challenge. You have the face that can run, you have the face that can hide, you have the face that can show up and just be out there and kind of just be like, okay, I'm here, but what's next? Or you can have the face that's bold and really wants to take it on. Or you had the face, so many different faces. You had the face that can show up and observe it, not as a challenge, though, observe it as just another moment, another day. And that's a beauty too. All of them are beauties, because you get to learn more about who you really are inside. And that's what it comes down to for me, when it comes down to the challenge of who am I more of inside? Because who are we becoming more of? Who are we becoming more of? And through that, what challenges are we facing, right? As we become more of this thing. And that was the question. As I look at this prompt and I look at the prompt, the question that was posed to me is, how is the recovery process from your torn ACL and meniscus affected your creative work and business responsibilities? And I just talked about a little bit of the responsibilities and more of the artistic, and we talk about the creative work, was learning how to lean whatever challenge and whatever I felt like I needed to be defined more of, leaning more of that into my art, right? So working on this project called Year of the Mamba, like what would Kobe listen to right now? I want to create that energy, because that's what I want to embody, and that's what I want to listen to get my own self through. Allowing my art to represent my path, allowing my art to represent my achievements, allowing art to represent my success, allowing my art to represent my journey, and let that be found in my journal. And that's how it's been through my creative process. Yeah, you even working on this Christmas project recently. Shout out to Ariana. We were working on that. Man, there was moments where I'm like, whew, it's, because you're sitting down sometimes, with the torn ACL, torn meniscus, that's into my knee, that's my right knee, and sitting down, having it bent, having it stretched out, working long periods, it's a process. And I think the challenge that you go through is, how bad do you really want it, right? The challenge that you're faced with sometimes is, what do you really want it? And that's the main thing. Do you really, really want it? And what does that really, really want it feeling look like for you? Does it look like I'm going to run through this brick wall, and whatever it takes, I'm going to do what I have to do? Or does it look like, okay, I'm just going to make sure for myself that bit by bit, minute by minute, or step by step, I'm able to 1% a day. 1% a day, I want to just get better at this. Is that what the challenge looks like for you? Does it look like, I want it so bad because when I come out of this, I be damn, I look like what I used to look like. So regardless of how I come out this injury, I'm going to be in better shape. Regardless of how I come out this injury, I'm going to have better art. Regardless of how I'm come out this injury, I'm going to be a much better business owner, entrepreneur, and a much better son, a much better lover, a much better person, human being, because I had more time. I had time to really discover who I could become more of. And that's the discovery, and that's the journey of life that we're looking for. And that's why life is poetic, baby, because you have this assignment, right? And life is poetic because you have this assignment, and the assignment is going to be shown to you in the symbolisms, the signs, assignment, and the people, the conversations, the thoughts, conscious, subconscious, the dreams. Life is poetic because all of these faces are showing you who you are, showing more of you, who you can become more of, showing you who you can define yourself as to yourself and the world. That's the ultimate key, is being able to open up that door. And when you step out that door, it's being able to show and define yourself to the world. And that's what we're here to do, baby. So once again, I want to say thank you. In today's prompt, if you're listening and understanding, each show has a prompt, is I want to know from yourself, what responsibilities have you gained through becoming more of your desired self? What responsibilities? So we talked about challenges that you face, right? Though, reflect on what responsibilities have you gained in this journey of becoming more of your desired self? What responsibilities have you faced in becoming more of your desired self? I'm going to reflect and talk about more of some of the responsibilities I faced on the next show that we record, and kind of just be able to hopefully hear back and kind of tap into you all and see what responsibilities you all had to face too. So again, I'm your host, Poetically, Poeticlee. You listen to Life is Poetic. I'm here. We're going to try to do this as much as we can, baby. But make sure you subscribe, YouTube, Poetically. Check out the website, poetically.com. All social media, Poetically. Life is Poetic TV on Instagram. Let's stay fly. And remember, the question is living as the answer. Peace, baby.